Alright, so lately, there's this phrase that I can't stop thinking about. You'll own nothing and be happy. And honestly, right now, it feels more relevant than ever. You look around and it feels like everything is just a subscription now, or a lease, or zero down low monthly payments, or you get the point. Everything's paid in installments now and you don't truly own anything. Housing, cars, software, movies, music, even basic things like groceries. I mean, everything's paid in installments and those monthly payments, they just keep getting higher. And here's the thing, in the start, it was nice, but right now, sure, yeah, I might just be negative, but this isn't as convenient as it was once promised to us. And the worst part is this is happening during a time where it already feels like the economy is quietly collapsing, where wages are nowhere close to the cost of living, and now we're expected to pay 20 different payments of like $12.99 to different companies every month. So yeah, in 2026, you'll own nothing and be happy doesn't sound like some type of conspiracy theory anymore. It's actually starting to sound like a real business model. One that's not really meant for our happiness. So firstly, where does this quote even come from? So what you'll find almost immediately is it's tied to one single place, the World Economic Foundation, the WEF, and they base it off a 2016 article written by a Danish politician named Ida Auken. The article was titled, "Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better." Now, the idea in this article was more of a utopian idea. This world where instead of owning things, we'd access them for free. Like, imagine a world where AI and robots do all the work for us, and we human beings just enjoy the world around us for free. And billionaires like Elon Musk love to say stuff along those lines, like universal high income and stuff like that, all the time. But we still are seeing this thing about owning nothing still happening, just not in the same way. Now, going into 2026 and further years, we're not entering a world where we never pay for anything. Rather, we're going into this world where we never stop paying for anything. In simpler words, everything's a subscription now. And honestly, it sucks. Now, let's be honest, this worked at first, and it worked pretty well. Like, take Netflix for example. Why would you buy individual movies and have a huge shelf of DVDs or have to rent each movie for $8 a month if you can just stream them all from the convenience of one app? And honestly, that's a great idea, even for a monthly subscription. That saves you a lot of money compared to buying DVDs. But then we started to see this everywhere. Spotify instead of CDs, phone plans instead of buying phones, leasing a car, paying Adobe like $10 a month instead of paying them $1,000 upfront. At the time, this felt flexible and convenient, especially because subscriptions were cheap. After all, the promise was that you'll spend less, stress less, and be happier. But now in 2026, it feels like everything is monthly. I mean, you can finance a burrito from Chipotle, or pay somebody a monthly plan to drop off groceries at home, or even companies like BMW and Tesla want to charge you monthly for the heated seats that are already in your car. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. And now, with payment plans becoming crazy popular, there's a catch. If you don't own anything, someone else does. And whoever owns the asset or the product or whatever, they set the price, control access, and they can raise costs or remove you whenever they want. And that's the trap.
It's a trap!
We completely gave up ownership, and nowadays, buy now, pay later systems like Klarna are super popular. I mean, just looking at their past Black Friday, 41% of Gen Z was using buy now, pay later systems. But more interestingly to me personally, 38% of people making over 100K a year were using it. That's a six-figure salary, which is supposed to be considered being well off. So this isn't just broke people or college students struggling. This is everyone using these buy now pay later systems. But here's the scary part. 25% of people used it for groceries, and moreover, 95% of spending on Black Friday was financed. Moreover, 67% of the people using these systems didn't even expect to pay it off within 30 days. And now what we're seeing here in 2026, with everything becoming a payment plan, things are getting more expensive and payment plans are only more encouraged. And I feel like it's kind of a loop. Payment plans get more expensive because things are getting more expensive, but then since everybody's using a payment plan, that's more of an excuse to make it more expensive since everybody's paying in installments. I could keep spiraling, but I think you get the idea. And the worst part is that over time, ownership as a whole was framed as inefficient, messy, and outdated. Alright, so as I was researching this, I found this interesting research paper that explains why this own nothing future feels so soul crushing. And it comes down to one big word: personhood. Now, philosophers like Hegel and Aristotle argued that we human beings aren't just brains in a jar. Rather, we actually realize who we are through the things we interact with. This paper argues that when you own something, it's like a normative fence around your life. It gives you stability. You feel secure when you own things because you feel like you have a solid foundation that can't be taken away once your credit card declines. And when you start renting your entire life on leases, mortgages, and monthly payments, that fence is gone. You aren't a person with actual assets, ownership, and belonging anymore. Rather, you're just another person with a very long credit card statement. This paper argues that radical change or destruction of objects for which there are strong feelings of ownership leads to feelings of powerlessness and health effects. So when you see 15 different charges for $9.99 a month on your bank statement and feel all that anxiety, that's not just you being sad about being bad with money. Although it's probably that too, but mainly it's your brain starting to translate that your self-worth is just limited to these monthly installments. And the wild part is how we sold this idea. I mean, just remember the original quote: you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. But now, once again, as I've mentioned before, with all these buy now, pay later monthly installment plans, it's promised to us like this convenient thing that'll radicalize our life and make life so much easier for us. But at the same time, it doesn't bring happiness. This research paper argues that there's a huge difference between subjective happiness, which is just a temporary convenience in the moment of getting an Uber or a food delivery, and objective happiness, which is about flourishing, security, and meaning. More long-term, bigger goal, the bigger picture type of things. And I truly believe with this idea of you'll own nothing and be happy, we've traded meaning in life for convenience. We've traded the security and the generational wealth and prosperity of owning a home, which studies literally link to overall happiness and prosperity and meaning in life, for the flexibility of being a lifelong tenant paying monthly installments. And let's just be honest for a second here. Between me and you, we see so many people financing groceries now. You can't convince me that's making anybody happy in the greater scheme of things. And yeah, this paper pretty much concludes that a future with no individual ownership is not a happy one, because you can't truly flourish if you're constantly renting the basic requirements of your existence. Like honestly, we aren't becoming more free and having more convenience in our life by owning less. We're just becoming more dependent. And moreover, that lack of security is now what's making a lot of Gen Z and millennials not even want to have kids, and that just gives them even less meaning in life. Now, if you've seen my recent videos, you already know this. This hits Gen Z especially hard because we're entering adulthood at a time where wages aren't even growing nearly as fast as inflation, and that's if you can even get a wage, because right now the job market sucks is an understatement. So with everything being in installments now, not only do you not build equity and ownership, in this economy, Gen Z barely even gains access. And when something goes wrong, like a layoff, a recession, an emergency, a pandemic, not to jinx it, but if something eventually goes wrong, you don't have assets to fall back on. You just have more and more credit card bills.
'Cause I have $30,000 in credit card debt.
Alright, now I'm not going to put on some tinfoil hat and get into conspiracy theories about how this is some evil master plan cooked up somewhere in some room by the Illuminati in some meeting, or it's not any of that. Why this happens is incentives. Companies realize that recurring revenue is more profitable than one-time sales. I mean, subscriptions, they look great on earning calls, and there's a predictable chance, especially for a lot of investors, that most of the people that bought a subscription last month will probably buy it again this month. Like, let's look at this example. Say Apple, world's biggest company, or was. Now, when you think of Apple, you think of iPhones, Apple Watch, MacBooks, iPads, all that stuff, right? Well, let's actually take a look at their revenue share by product. Now here we see that the biggest one is the iPhones, and that's fair enough. I mean, iPhones are great, everybody loves them. I use one too. It's a super popular product. But the second biggest on this chart isn't the Mac, iPad, AirPods, Apple Watch, or anything else. It's services. And in this graph, we also see that it's one of the most stable ones. I mean, it's not subject to any volatility, economic conditions, release cycles, fluctuating demand, and any of that like the iPhone, MacBook, or anything else. It's very stable and investors love that. So going back to the main idea of this video, when they say you'll own nothing and be happy, what they're really saying is you'll rent your life and you'll pay forever. And we'll tell you it's for your own convenience, but really, sucks to be you. And I'll be honest here, if 2030 is a world where every part of yourself is rented on a credit card, then yeah, 2030 is gonna be one expensive year for sure, but also, it's a future where humanity has lost our inner selves, if that makes sense. That being said, if you found this video interesting, please make sure to leave a comment. I genuinely love to hear what you guys think. And also, if you really like this video, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel because it really helps a lot. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.